Today we are going to study about the two major important topics from this lesson. Our Council of Ministers, they are responsible directly or indirectly to the Parliament. Sometimes they'll be collectively they'll responsible to the Parliament. Sometimes they'll be individually they will be responsible to the Parliament of India. Now we are going to study, there are two important topics. One is responsibility of ministers, and the second one, the difference between Council of Ministers and Cabinet. So we are going to study these two topics very clearly today. The Council of Ministers is a hierarchical system with the Cabinet Ministers forming the most important group. According to the Constitution, the ministers have ministerial responsibility to the Parliament. This responsibility is in two forms. First one, we can study about collective responsibility. This is codified in Article 75(3) of the Constitution. It says that the Council of Ministers shall be collectively responsible to the House of the People. House of the People means Lok Sabha. So the government as a body shall be under the constitutional obligation to resign if it loses the confidence of the Lok Sabha. The collective responsibility is it to the Lok Sabha, even though some of the ministers may be the members of Rajya Sabha. This is because of in India we have the parliamentary democracy. The lower house consists of directly elected representatives and such reflects the will of the people. And the collective responsibility implies that all members of the council are unanimous in their support of the government policies in parliament, though they might have had difference of opinion in the cabinet meeting. And second one, all ministers swim and sing together. They are morally responsible for the success or failure of the governmental policy and program. Individual responsibility. An essential, accountable, and democratic parliamentary government is the responsibility of individual ministers for their own conduct and that of their departments. By acknowledging a general responsibility, a minister does not discharge his accountability to the parliament. In order to give the effect to the requirement of individual responsibility, a minister may inform and explain his position. Besides this individual responsibility to the parliament, a minister is also responsible to the head of the executive. Under the Article 75(2) of the Constitution says that the ministers shall hold the office during the pleasure of the president. It means that though the ministers are collectively responsible to the parliament, they shall be individually responsible to the executive head and shall be liable for dismissal, even when they enjoy the confidence of the parliament. This power, though given to the president, is actually exercised by the prime minister to remove the government of undesirable ministers. Every minister is held responsible not only for his personal lapse but for any breach of secrecy or having gone against the official policy. There have been occasions when a minister has owned up the responsibility for the shortcomings of his department and resigned from the cabinet. Distinction between the Council of Ministers and the Cabinet. Council of Ministers. The first one, it comprises all three ranks of ministers. One is Cabinet, second one Minister of State, and last one the Deputy Ministers. In other side, the Cabinet, being the core of the Council of Ministers, but it comprises the senior ministers. They'll be holding the important portfolios or departments. All members of Cabinet are the members of Council, but not vice versa. The second one, Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers, they will meet very rarely. But the cabinet being the policy framing the organ, they will meet frequently to decide or determine the administrative policies of the government. And the third one, the Council of Ministers. The Constitution says that there shall be the Council of Ministers to aid and advise the President. The Council is too large a group to render the advice required. In other side, the third one, the Cabinet. The Cabinet, the work of aiding and advising the President is the responsibility of the Cabinet. As a smaller group of seasoned the politicians can do the work efficiently. The fourth one, Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister may or may not consult the Council of Ministers for important decisions. But in other side, the Cabinet, the Prime Minister consult the Cabinet for all decisions to be taken. The decision by the Cabinet is binding upon the entire Council of Ministers.